Hello everybody, I am Dr. Rogers, and this is just a quick little walkthrough of my Physics 201 Blackboard course, as well as my syllabus. So we're starting right here on the Announcements tab. That's the one that normally pops up when you sign in, and I pretty much don't anticipate any snow days or anything that will require me to put an announcement here, but this video will appear there shortly. So let's work our way down here first to the syllabus. You can see the syllabus right here. Again, I don't anticipate having to revise that. I've already popped it open on the tab. So here we are in summer 2017. This is the standard BCCS description. And what we're going to be doing is in Physics 201, we're going to cover mechanics and thermodynamics. And if you take 202, then you'll cover waves, electricity, magnetism, and fun stuff like that. Basic learning objectives. At the end of the day, we want to work on problem solving as well as picking up a little bit of physics. My room is 216 in the Science and Health Professions building, right across from where you'll be doing your labs. This is a phone number, but I'm only in here 2 days a week, Monday and Tuesday, and most of the time I'm over there in the labs with you all. So probably the best way to get in touch with me is to shoot me an email right here. Course outline, pretty much we're doing online lecture in-class lab for Physics 201. The textbook is 7th edition G and Coley, but the money-saving note here is you can get by with the 6th edition for pennies on the dollar. Highly recommend that. Labs, we will be doing labs each week, and kind of the way that I do online lecture in-class labs is the labs are not going to take the full 11 to 3:30, and that just gives me a little bit of time to help you solve problems for any of the pen and paper or online homeworks, or if you just have any questions, you can learn so much more through me interacting in the laboratory time. So homework, we have 2 flavors of homework. We have some online questions, and we have 10 multiple choice online questions for each chapter, as well as some pen and paper problems, which are more traditional, solving physics problems. And they are due on the due date, and I essentially have a very heavy grade penalty for late homework just to discourage that, because I do not suggest you fall behind. Summer is very fast. 10 weeks for a 16 weeks course means 160% of the speed, so please don't fall behind. We have 4 tests throughout the semester. They have a time limit on them. They are 30 multiple choice questions. Kind of the reason for the time limit is because you can use your notes, you can use your textbook, you can use anything you want, but if you try to GUI your way through it, then you'll probably run out of time in the 1.5 hours. And I do not accept late tests. Attendance, please come to class, respect for the equipment, just be nice to my stuff as you're setting up the lab, and try to be nice to each other as well. Academic honesty, when it comes to the pen and paper homework or the online homework, you can work together, you can do it on your own. When it comes to labs, I certainly hope you work together, but the tests, you have to say that this is me and this is me only, no one is helping me, and that's what the academic honesty pledge really is. The breakdown of points in this course, we have 4 tests at 60 points each, worth 40% of your grade. Labs are 20, online homework's another 20, and pen and paper is another 20. I will say, for the online homework and the pen and paper homework, I will gladly help you at the end of every lab session up until 3:30 to complete these guys, so highly recommend you take advantage of that. Time requirements, this class takes 6 hours per week in the 16-week course, and the rule of thumb is 6 hours in class, 6 hours out of class, so that's 12 hours. Keep bear in mind, summertime we're going a whole lot faster, so you probably want to be putting in 15 plus hours a week on this class. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the schedule here. So here we are for week 1. This is the date. I highly recommend you watch chapters 1 and 2 by then, and give the Blackboard homeworks an assignment 1 and 2 by then. Pen and paper homework, that's this guy right here, chapter 1, chapter 2. And for the labs, we're doing 16 weeks and 10 weeks. We're doing about a lab and a half every week. Some weeks we're going to do 1 lab, some weeks we're going to do 2, and they'll kind of work their way out to what we normally do in a 16-week course. I have 4 major due dates, and pretty much chapter 1 and 2 are not due until the due date, and that just gives you a little bit of breathing room because, summertime, people may go on vacation or something like that, but please don't fall behind. So chapter 1, 2, and 3 are actually not due until June 5th at midnight, and test number 1 closes at June 5th on midnight. You probably don't want to be doing chapter 1, 2, and 3 homework around midnight on June the 5th because the test is going to close at that time. Please don't judge the difficulty of this course by chapter 1, chapter 2, or chapter 3. Those are some of the easier ones. Chapters 4 and 5, this is when things start to get really hard and people really start to struggle, so make sure you get a heads up on that. The next big due date is June 19th. 4, 5, and 6 homeworks are due. Pen and paper 4, 5, and 6 are due, and the test closes at midnight. Work our way on, 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, test number 3, and then July 31st is when everything else is kind of due. So let's go ahead and take a look at the course documents. First of all, I'll pop open some physics resources. These are just some resources if you find that my lectures are not quite as much as you would like. Khan Academy, highly recommend them. I relearned a ton of physics from Khan Academy, so take advantage of that link. Okay, so course documents, lectures, and notes. First of all, you're going to pop this guy open, and you're going to see Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, and so on and so forth. And if we were to go ahead and pop open the Chapter 1, first of all, we have 2 documents. We have some solved problems, and this is going to be just like watching me solve a problem on the whiteboard. And you can kind of see that you have a couple of problems here, and I highly recommend that you actually give those guys a try. I'm going to pop open this guy as well. These are some lecture notes, and these are the slides that I'm going to talk to in the lecture videos. And in order to see the lecture videos, well, we can go ahead and pop open this guy right here, and it's going to bring up a lecture video, and you can kind of click on this, and this is just kind of like watching me give a lecture. I highly recommend that you do it. I don't know, I like to digest YouTube around 1.5 or 2x, and that just gets you through it a little bit faster, but it gives you a little bit of time to pause it and take down some notes. Highly recommend taking notes just like you would in a regular class. I split it up into usually about 2 videos, about 10, sometimes 13, 15 minutes. I try to keep them short. That's about, how long you can watch a YouTube video for. And then you come down to the work problems, and if you go ahead and you pop this guy open, then what you're going to see is you're going to see the same exact problems that I had on the previous slide, and it's just like watching me do a problem on the board. But the nice part is you could actually go back and watch it several times if need be. So you can kind of go ahead and see, we have Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, and so on and so forth. So that was all the course documents. Let's go into the assignments. We have, again, the 2 flavors of homeworks and the tests. So let's first pop open the pen and paper problems. These are the problems that are will be due on the due date when you're doing your lab that day. And you can just kind of pop this guy open and just print these guys out and give them a go. I do need to see your work, especially when you see this one and you see, hey, look, I actually gave you the answers. If you just write down A, 5,000, B, 24,000, then you're probably not going to get full credit because, well, 1, I gave you the answers, and 2, we need to see your work. So those guys will be due on the dates that they are due in class. Go back right over here. So here we have some online homework. I will note that you have 2 attempts per problem, and only the last submission is the one that is counted. And it will tell you which ones you got wrong. So theoretically, you could get together with like 4 people and game the system, but I highly don't recommend that you do that, because then you're probably going to fail the tests. So you can see that this guy was due on June 5th, and it says 2 attempts. So let's just go ahead and click on begin right here. And you can kind of see there's 10 multiple choice per questions, just getting a little bit of practice doing some unit conversions. And you can go ahead and click on these, and go ahead and submit this guy, save and submit. And it yells at me because I didn't submit all of them. And then it says, okay, well, let's click on this to view the results. And you can kind of see that, well, that one was wrong, that one was wrong, and the rest of them I didn't give an answer to. So it will tell you which ones that you got wrong. So that's the online homework, and again, it's due on the due dates listed. Now when it comes to the tests, you pop into this folder right here, and you actually see Test 1 Review and Test 1, and you're going to see Test 2 Review, and Test 2 will pop up eventually. Test 3 Review, Test 3. With the Test 1 reviews, these are a sample test. You have unlimited attempts. I don't look at them. They won't count against you. They won't count towards you. But it's going to be 30 questions similar to the real test, and it's going to put a timer on there, and it's going to be just like the real test. And you come down here, and it says Test number 1. You have 1 attempt with a 90-minute time limit. So let's just click on Test 1 Review. Please don't click on Test 1 until you're actually ready. And you're going to go ahead and see, look, it has a time limit, multiple attempts. You click on Begin, and you can take it as many times as you want. So I think that's everything I wanted to cover. I look forward to meeting you in class, and I hope you have a good day.